CZ's balance patch is by far the most controversial update to ever come to Rogue Demon. Never before has an update made people this angry at this large of a scale, and for good reason too. This balance change made some of the most significant buffs and nerfs to ever be done, and while some of these things are deserved, a few are pretty unwarranted. However, one update that CZ made, which we'll be talking about in this video, is a controversial M1 damage nerf. If you didn't already know about this update, CZ nerfed the damage of fists to 3, and nerfed the damage of swords, cleavers, and sickles to 4. While this doesn't seem very important, it changes the game to an insane extent. Many abilities that used to be able to one-shot combo can't do it anymore, and the combat is so much slower. If you want to know my thoughts on this, well, it's bad. I heavily dislike this update, and in this video, I'll be going over why this nerf is a bad thing, and what could be done to fix it. So, without further ado, let's get into the video. Alright, so starting off with why this is a bad thing for the uninitiated. Essentially, M1s make up the majority of damage for abilities in Rogue Demon. Most moves do very low damage, so nerfing M1s is basically a heavy nerf to everything in Rogue Demon. It also removes the ability to one-shot from everything in the game with a few exceptions, which depending on your viewpoint, can either be a good or bad thing. Most of these are subjective, and you can decide for yourself whether you like it or not, but one thing remains clear: this nerf is a big one. Now, the main issue pops up when you actually get into a fight, because funnily enough, you can literally out-heal the damage of M1s. Because M1s do so little damage, it's extremely hard to actually kill someone without something like Arrow that can simply one-shot combo to somebody to death. Flame users and things similar to it struggle a lot because their damage output is basically gone. Meanwhile, Water and Arrow are boosted to the top of the meta because they're the only kits with good damage. It's a meta-changing update for better or for worse. Because you can't kill someone quickly with a combo, most people can just heal every single bit of damage from the fight and make it so that you basically didn't even hit them. Breathing bar regeneration is insane, filling up your health bar at a very fast pace, so nerfing damage does make things a lot slower. For a point of reference, the average amount of damage that someone would deal in a ranked fight was between 400 to 500 damage, a fairly decent amount. This was because people actually died when they got hit, and thus fights lasted around 4 to 7 minutes. However, once CZ made this change, that average damage per ranked fight got boosted to between 800 to 1000 damage, which is absolutely insane. People live for so long that they can now tank enough damage to cross into 4 digits. In addition to that, ranked fights now last much longer than before, at an average of 8 to 13 minutes. It's absolutely bonkers, and because combat is so slow, it's like watching two immortals beat the ever-loving crap out of each other. Sure, it looks pretty cool, but nothing is happening, and it's boring as hell. That one pro player who did a proper dash kick into circular slashes? Well, guess what? That dash kick only did 3 damage total. So, now that I've explained why this update's a problem, let's move on to how to fix it. Alright, so the first, and by far most simple way to fix it, is to straight up just revert the nerf. Not much to really say here, except that getting rid of this nerf would bring things back to how they were before, minus a few details. I personally would like this change quite a bit, and a lot of the old generation Rogue Demon players support this as well. However, there are issues to it, as a friend of mine pointed out, because one-shot combos aren't really a good thing. So, there's a second solution to this problem that might work a lot better. This second solution is to nerf breathing regen into the ground, making it so that players can't just heal back any damage they took without any penalty. In the status quo, you can literally just walk into a combo and come out completely unscathed because you can heal back any damage you took. However, by nerfing breathing regen, you still remove one-shot combos while also making it so that players have to be careful. It solves 2 issues on 2 opposing sides, and is by far the best compromise that could ever be made out of this situation. If you want a solution that shoots down 2 birds with 1 stone, nerfing breathing regen is the answer. So, now that I've said that, this video is basically finished. All we can really hope for is that CZ watches this video and takes this information into consideration. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. I'm not a dev, so I basically have no say in what goes on. iMed might also make these changes if he sees this video, but that's even less likely considering that iMed basically has no reason to care anymore. CZ is basically carrying the entirety of Rogue Demon, so he has the most impact when it comes to these things. Anyways, if you enjoyed watching this video, please like and subscribe since it helps out a lot. I make content like this regularly, so keep an eye out. As always, I'm New Eternally, and I'll see you next time in another video. Bye!